Hey everyone, welcome to another Easy Excel tutorial, part of easyprogramming.net. Today I bring you the fourth in the series of simple charts in Easy Excel. Last time I covered the design tab here. Today I'll cover a bit more of the advanced options you have when it comes to formatting your chart. Uh, I mentioned that I'll cover add chart elements this tutorial. There's actually an easier way to get to chart elements. If you select your chart, you'll see three options on the right side. There's a big plus button here. If you hover your mouse over it, tells you that it's the chart elements, so which you can add, remove chart elements. If you click on it, you have these options here. You have the axes titles, chart title, data labels, data table, grid lines, and legend. As I'm hovering my mouse over these, you can see the options already change. So this is what it'll look like if I remove them or add them. Each of these options has an right arrow key here, which means more options. So the axis, you can actually turn on and off primary axis, which is the x-axis, and primary vertical axis, which is the y-axis. Axis titles, let's say you want the axis titles here. Right now there's nothing. If you want to do something here, let's say money. Wow, okay, money. You can see here, department. Let's see if you want to do it that way. Bring that up later. You can also turn on and off the chart title if you don't want it at all. Some people don't like chart titles. You can also move how it displays. You can have it within the chart where it's pretty much an overlay, or above the chart, or more options if you want to do it that way. I'll leave it there. Data labels is the next option. If you want to turn it on, it'll give you the values of each of these columns here. And more options also gives you like data callout. It tells you exactly where it is. In this case, it's a little too clustered, so I won't do that. I'll leave out data labels. Next is data tables. This is really good if you want to print your data and give it to someone. They say, this is what it is, and these are the values, because it's not always easy to tell that, this here, this big is has a value of 600 if you're looking at it on a piece of paper, because it's not exactly touching the top, but it really is if you're looking at it here. You can also do it with legend keys or with no legend keys. There you go. Which is pretty much the color. I'll keep it off for now just to keep it clean. You can also control the grid lines. You can have the major primary, the primary major horizontal, which is the gaps that you see. You can also have vertical lines, so it separates each of these departments. Minor lines, which are the small between the big major ones, and primary vertical lines, which is all pretty neat. And the last chart element is the legend, so you can either have it on or off. You can also control where it sits, so right, top, left, and bottom. I'll keep it at the bottom for now. So these are the chart elements, is the exact same options here. If you hover your mouse over, then you can see what it looks like. Except here, within the chart, you actually have options to check on and off and see what happens. The next thing I want to show you is in the Format tab. Let's say you want to just select the plot area and you don't exactly know how to select it. You're not clicking on the right place. On the very left hand side in the Format tab, you have the current selections area. In the drop down box, you can actually see all the different components of this chart. So if you click on plot area, it'll actually select the plot area, which you can then edit. The next thing is the format chart area. In the past, you would need to, let me turn this off. In the past, you'd need to right click on the chart area and click on the properties. You'll get a little pop up and you can edit the chart options then and there, and then you have to click on OK or save or close for the effects to take place. Not anymore. We have this option called the format chart area. So you can either right click and click on this option, or you can double click and it appears here on the in a panel to the right. So I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to move it over. You will see 4 different options usually on top here. They're usually fill and line, which has to do with coloring, formatting, how everything looks, effects, size, and properties. And fourth one you'll see is usually options such as axis options or column options, etc. If you click on the little drop down menu here, you have the different areas of the chart that you can select. So let's say you click on plot area, you have just the fill options and the effects. Let's say you click on, let's say, vertical value axis, you have, there you go, you have the axis options here. So let's do some actual editing of this chart. Let's say I want to change the color of payroll. I don't like the yellow. As you can see, I clicked on just one column, and it selected all of the yellow columns across the board because that's how I wanted it. In the format data series options here, you can actually do stuff with it. So you can do a solid fill, a gradient fill, a picture, pattern fill. So I'll do a solid fill, and I can actually change the color here. Let's say I don't like that orange, I want it to be this green. Easy, right? I can set a transparency if you like. If you want, you can do a border, which is a solid border. Of course, this blue doesn't look that good. I'll do another green, which really doesn't make it stand out, but it's still an option for you. The next option I'll take you to is the series options. So if you click on this, you have a gap depth between them, so you can actually start increasing this. Let's say put this to 250. You can see what it looks like. So it puts a bigger gap between these. There you go. Yeah, I'll leave it as default 150. 150%. Let's say I want to change just the math department's February here. So as you can see, I clicked on the orange and it selected all 5 of these February columns. If I click on it again, it'll only select 1. So all of these are selected off, or turned off, and now I can actually go back into color. I can do a solid fill, and I can change just this one column. Say I don't like that orange, I like red. It's a little bright for me, but yeah, I'll keep it that way. I'll do a little bit of transparency. So that's what it looks like. I'll do a little solid line. Let's do black. Right, that's what it looks like. So now as you can see, I changed just one column. So you can do this individual columns, or you can do it in series. There's a lot of freedom that you get here when it comes to changing these. And the changes to these are pretty much live. There you go. That's what it looks like. So you don't have to click on pop up. You don't have to right click on anything. Go back and do things. Let's say you don't want to show columns, rather you want to show pyramids. One of the options you have here in the series options is actually for these series is that you can actually change them to full pyramids. You can have partial pyramids, which is pretty cool. So it means the tallest one will always be pointy, and the rest of them will depend on how tall they are in comparison. You can also have cylinders. You can have a full cone. You can have a partial cone. Again, same concept here. So a little back. You can also mess with text options if you're working with text here. So you have text options here. You can do a no fill or solid fill. You can work with transparency. You can work with text color here. Let's do red. You can also do a chart solid line. It doesn't always look good. Yeah, kind of looks ugly, right? So I'll just do no line. You can also work with text effects and text boxes. So the rest of this is pretty self-explanatory when it comes to Excel. If you've ever used Excel in the past, or even Microsoft Word, most of these text options are pretty much the same. Well, that's all there is to Excel charts for now. These are simple charts. There is actually a lot more you can do with charts. You can make it look a lot better. I showed you some options that you can use to customize your charts to make it look more presentable, make it look more like something that you did rather than something you just took off the internet or a template that you used for Excel from Excel. If you have any questions about any of these, please feel free to ask. If you want to see certain topics covered, or if you want to see other parts of charts covered, feel free to ask. In the future, another chart tutorial I plan on doing, it may not be the next tutorial, is that I show you how to do a column chart, a 2D column chart, along with a line graph on the exact same chart. right? Sounds freaky, but it's possible to do. You can have two different y-axes. Well, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe. Please visit my website at easyprogramming.net. Have a great one.